Hi, everyone. I'm Speedy Beth. And on behalf of everyone at WVOW Radio, WVOWradio.com, and Cliffs, Logan County Coal, we invite you to take one more trip back in time to one of the most exciting points in the long and storied history of Logan Wildcat basketball. Not only is it the 1983 AAA State Championship, it's also Willie Akers' final game as the head coach of the Wildcats. Logan has won their quarterfinal round game against Fairmont West and their semifinal round game against Stonewall Jackson. And now they're set to face South Charleston. With us today is the legendary Coach Willie Akers, along with one of the key players from that 1983 team, Steve Browning. Steve, as many of you know, is a color analyst for Logan High School games on WVOW Radio. Willie, you defeated Fairmont and Stonewall. South Charleston knocked off Oak Hill and Weir. It's your last game. You had coached in 8 other state championship games. How nervous were you on this one compared to the other 8?
Well, I knew I was retiring, so they couldn't fire me, so I felt pretty good. So it was, it was one of those things. I was hoping to win the championship and go out like that, but I knew it was going to be really tough, and of course we just tried to do the best we could, and I knew I had some good players, and I knew they would come through.
Steve, you last played on Friday afternoon against Stonewall Jackson, so you had a better than 24-hour wait. While for all practical purposes, South Charleston won Friday night. They go back to their homes. It's a typical day for them. How tough was it to wait around all day Saturday and that extended 24-hour period before you played the championship game?
You have that nervous energy, and you feel much more comfortable when you're actually playing. It's the lead up to the ball game where you sit there and you don't know it, but you still got adrenaline flowing through your body for the excitement that's about to come all day long. It is quite draining on you, and the easy part is actually getting to the ball game to play. That's when once the game starts is the easiest part about that. Leading up to the ball game, to me, the anticipation of it and the just the nervous energy going through your body was the toughest thing to do. You can't rest, you can't sit down. I know Coach Akers says go to your rooms and rest and sit down off your feet. You can sit down off your feet, but you can't rest. Your mind is rolling, your body is anticipating that. And I feel like the easier part was when the ball's tossed and it's ready to play.
What was your philosophy on that, Willie? Again, you had better than 24 hours to play. Did you want them in their rooms? Was it okay to go to the mall to come watch the games? Tell us about your philosophy.
Well, my philosophy was like this. I would tell them that's what we wanted to do, rest and all this. I knew when I played, we used to have a pregame meal of a filet on a piece of dried toast, a baked potato with no butter, and the only thing I enjoyed about the pregame meal when I was in college was the peppermint patty after, because he said it's good for digestion. But
that was during that era where they said no milk.
Right.
No milk.
There was unleavened bread in that area, too.
Yeah. So we would head for the nearest pool room or the hot dog stand and eat a couple hot dogs, and we would go play pool. Of course, when you're that age, you don't have to worry about being tired. You're in great condition, and of course I'm not knocking the rest. I wouldn't want them running up and down the halls and playing like that, but just being around. They were sitting around, so it was just one of those things, and you have to be nervous, and so if you're doing something, we let them go to games and all that for a while, but we want to keep them in tow right around the hotel.
So now we know the secret to the 1959 Mountaineers: a couple of hot dogs and a game of 8-ball before every key game.
That's right.
Well, Steve, here we are. We're ready to go out onto the floor, and you're about to leave the locker room, and Willie Akers is about to coach his last game. What was said by Coach Akers? What about somebody on the team? You were a team leader. Anybody get up and say that, let's do this for the Gipper kind of speech?
I don't think that was at all ever mentioned. I think everybody knew Coach Akers was retiring. That was no secret at that point in time. It wasn't something that we talked about. It wasn't something that we did anything different about. I think Coach Akers really, you prepared you to play the ball game. Didn't want you to go about it any differently than you did any other basketball game. Although it's the state championship game, it's his last ball game. I don't think he wanted any undue pressure put upon us, to be it's my last ball game. Let's win this one for what. I think he just. You prepared. You know who you're playing. It's a great basketball team you're going to go face. There's enough work out there on the floor to do. And I don't think anybody ever really brought it up. Maybe it's something we just didn't want to talk about. Let's just go out and play. And try to go as business as normal.
What was it like to run out onto the floor in the pregame and
see the crowd,
that sea of fans, and hear the roar of the crowd?
That is a special feeling, Speedy. I wish that everybody that played sports could get to do that at one time. It's the biggest crowd that I've ever been in front of.
12,000 people there, and 10,000 of them wanted you to win.
Every bit of that. It was, and the roar was deafening. You come out on and at that time, really was rabid fans. They went, and I'm sure they still do it to some degree, but you were almost treated as not quite a rock star, but you were somewhat of a star walking around the streets of Logan in that day and age, and to see that many people packed Civic Center, standing room only, and the crowd is going nuts when you run out. That's a special moment.
Willie, you had already had a pretty big day. Your alma mater, Mullins, wins the single-A state championship. Your buddy Alan Hatcher had coached Williamson to the double-A state championship that day. You were able to watch both of those games. How much were you thinking to the AAA championship while trying to watch Mullins win the single-A and Williamson win the double-A that day?
Well, I was for 2 for 2 there, and I was hoping it'd be 3 for 3, but I was certainly thinking in my mind, I remember, boy, I don't want the 5th runner-up in my career. I said, I've already had 4 of them, and I just didn't want that 5th one. I was hoping to get a championship. So that ran through my mind quite a bit.
Let's talk about the first runner-up, 1963. You were just 2 or 3 years out of WVU, and you were coaching Logan against Weirton in the 1963 AAA championship. What do you remember about that night at the Huntington Fieldhouse?
Well, I think that we were just happy to be there because they'd never been there other than 1945. And I think the people in Logan were thrilled to be there. We're hoping to get a victory. We thought we had a great team, and which we did. I think that not knocking the 64 team, but the 63 team was really good. I felt like we could win that one. And even the 64 with Weirton, same team, I thought, well, in 64, I thought, well, that can go either way. But we won the 63, lost the 63 and won the 64. We had size, players, and everything. We had some nervous moments in that game, and we had some calls that were made that we weren't used to, calls that were made for particularly 2 or 3 of our kids that had special shooting skills that they call a walking call on them. Not Scotty Ellis that they did in that championship game, but it was one of them was Alex Sabo.
Alex Sabo and Jimmy Perry were 2 critical elements of the 63 team.
And I think Alex made 2 or 3 goals, and they took him away from him. He had a little thing where he grabbed the ball and shuffled and shot, and they called it. And, of course, I didn't think it was walking. But anyway, that's another story. But I certainly didn't want that 5th runner-up. That would kind of been pretty tough to handle.
Well, just to make sure you can enjoy this broadcast to its fullest, you can also download the WVOWradio.com app in the iTunes Store. It's a free download. It allows you to listen to the game on your iPhone, iPod, or iPad. This trip back in time is made possible by Cliffs Logan County Coal, a great place to work, a great friend in our community. Now, let's go back to Saturday, March 26th, 1983. Atari Game System cartridges Ms. Pac-Man is on sale at Murphy's Mart at the Midway Mall this week for $27.99. The Disney Channel is set to debut on cable TV, and appearing on newsstands in major cities is a new newspaper, USA Today. The Logan Wildcats are about to face the South Charleston Black Eagles for the AAA state championship. And here, once more, is the legendary voice of Jack Fleming.
1964, he came back and beat Weirton 81-73. We move right on up through the years, and if Willie wasn't in that title game, there were so many occasions when he was in the tournament itself. Now he comes out to shake hands with Bill Walton. Once again, we have a slightly emotional scene, but they're both laughing as Walton will not release his hand, shook his hand, held on to it, had something to say to him with a big smile. 1970, Parkersburg 61, Logan 54. But that wasn't the end of Willie Akers. 1974, Charleston 81, Logan 74. This is in the title game. 1977, Logan 111, Washington Irving 87. Who will ever forget that battle between Jeff Schneider and Victor Herbert? 1978, Logan 67, East Bank 60. 1979, Princeton 59, Logan 57. Now here we are in 1983, and the Logan Wildcats would like to get one more for Willie Akers. You've watched them, Fred. You know what this must mean to the kids and what it must mean to the city of Logan.
Well, Jack, no question. When you think about Willie Akers retiring, that really just, it almost brings an emotional scene to anyone that knows anything about high school basketball. Going after number 402, Willie is a tradition in high school coaching across the state of West Virginia. And as I was talking with Bill Walton in the pregame show, even Bill said you hate to see a man of his caliber get out of the coaching ranks because he has been good for high school basketball across the state.
Here's what they've done in this tournament. Logan came in and in the first round defeated Fairmont West 86-61. Gary Webster was the top scorer with 25. Greg Gaynor had 19 and Ron Gator had 16. South Charleston defeated Oak Hill by a count of 60-44. Rob Gardner had 19. David Hall 17. David Bradley 11. Okay, come down to the semifinal action yesterday. Logan defeating Stonewall Jackson 59-52. Scoring wise, Willie Elmore had 17. Gary Webster 12. Steve Browning 10. Greg Gaynor 15. Ron Gator 11. South Charleston defeated Weir High 61-55. A tough battle. And for South Charleston, David Hall had 13. David Bradley had 26. Here they are tonight. The Logan Wildcats. Steve Browning, 6'1", 160, a senior, averaging 10 points per game. Greg Gaynor, 6'1", 165, a senior, averaging 13. Ron Gator, the great shot blocker, 6'9", a senior, averaging 12.3. Willie Elmore, 5'9", 155, a senior, averaging 8 points. Gary Webster, 6 feet, 155, a senior, averaging 20. Now we have the presentation of the national anthem. Young lady comes to the center of the floor. She will sing a cappella. South Charleston, Bob Gardner, 6'7", 190-pound junior, average .6, 8 rebounds per game. Gary Thompson, 6'4", junior, averaging 9.7, also an outstanding left-handed pitcher. And David Bradley, 6 feet, 180, and a junior, averaging 17.7, 5 assists per game. Here they come, out on the floor. What do you think?
I don't know. We called it last year. Everyone had to pick one, and I was the only one that picked Stonewall, so I'm going to go out on a limb tonight and pick Logan.
Okay, I'm going to listen to you. I'm afraid to pick anybody. South Charleston in white, Logan in blue. Jump ball in the center of the floor, and it comes off the hands of both young men, off the head of the official, and it will be done again. Ron Gator jumping against South Charleston's Bobby Gardner. South Charleston to the right, Logan to the left. Jump ball tapped around. Pulled down by Gary Thompson. Eagles have the ball. Logan setting up in a 2-3 zone defense, active out front. Over to Miller on the left wing, and a bouncer comes back out to Bradley. Bradley has shown his ability not only to make the great pass, to run the offense, but also to make that great shot at the top of the key. Down in the corner, the defense comes after the Eagles, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. Inbounds play will come from Gary Thompson. Comes to Gary Thompson. Here's Bradley. Back outside again. Logan spreads the 2-3. Ball goes in the middle to Bobby Gardner. Turnaround shot, and he hits it. 2-0 in favor of South Charleston. Here's the quick transition by the running Wildcats. From the left corner, hangs one up, Steve Browning. Giving us a 2-2 ball game. On the attack now, Gary Thompson for South Charleston. One man said to me, this will either be a very high-scoring ball game or a very low-scoring ball game. And I looked at him, and he said it won't be in between. And we get an indication of what they want to do. Bradley with the ball out on the point. They challenge him. He goes to Miller on the right wing. Miller looks into the middle. There's David Hall. Takes it, goes down the lane, lays it up, banks it in, and he was fouled. David Hall down the right side of the lane. He laid it in. He was fouled. Charged the foul to Logan's Ron Gator. Willie Akers says that is the key, keeping him in the ball game.
Bill Walton said the same thing. He says, we get Gator out, we got a good shot.
David Hall completes the three-point play. 5-2 lead, South Charleston. South Charleston using a 1-3-1 zone. They've got Thompson back under the basket. Bouncer into the right corner to Browning. Browning with the ball up, comes back outside again to Hayner. Then over to the left side, down into the corner to Webster. And Webster brings the pass deep to Elmore, back to Webster. Takes it from the left corner, right there. Gary Webster. 5-4 lead now. South Charleston had the original lead, and now is in front 5-4. Logan picks them up three-quarter court. Here comes Bob Gardner with the ball. Into the front court, near side Gary Thompson. Back outside again it goes. Long shot, Bradley, short. Knocked down, Logan has it. Gator moves it down the floor, 2-on-1. Driving layup try. Willie Elmore, no good. Offensive foul called on Elmore. Elmore called on the charge. Ball goes to South Charleston. Pressure on David Bradley. Bradley over to Gardner. Gardner on the near side to Thompson. He's in the front court. Right at the hash mark, right side. Bounce pass back out to Bradley. Thompson goes to the right corner, takes the pass. Looks under. They've got Hall posted low. They move the ball to him. He goes up against Gator. Shot is no good. He was intimidated by Gator. Now on the rebound, the foul is called on South Charleston. Gary Thompson commits the foul. Willie Elmore leads the attack. Steve Browning off over on the far side to Webster, back to Elmore. Now they go left side again to Browning. He takes the shot. 17-footer. Angle over to the left side. And that gives Logan the lead 6-5. Browning now with two baskets against the pressure. Logan will smother you with the pressure. Down to the right corner to Thompson. Thompson again looking for the big man. Comes back outside to Bradley. Bradley around to the left wing to Miller. Miller, the co-captain, does not score that much. But he made 4 great free throws to help South Charleston last night. Now Bradley from the top of the circle, right on the top of it, hits the one-hander. 7-6. He does not use a jumper, just a long one-hander. Logan on the attack to our left. From the left corner, here's the shot. Good. Steve Browning. We have got some shooting going in this ball game. And the lead swinging back and forth. Right now, Logan in the lead 8-7. Here it comes to Gary Thompson. He goes in against Gator. He scores. Took it all the way to the basket. Now Gator already with a foul has to play it rather easy and cool. South Charleston taking the lead 9-8. Logan back on the attack on the left side. Webster driving, getting a shot away, and we have a foul called. The shot did not fall. Gary Thompson picks up his second personal. We've seen in this tournament what the loss of a youngster with personal fouls, getting 4 of them quickly, can do. Here is the turnaround shot. Gator, 15-foot range, left of the key. Misses. Rebound taken by South Charleston. Gary Thompson. Outstanding story with that arm injury last year. He missed the entire season. Here's a pass to Bradley, and he had to run to the center court line to save it. It got away from him. And down in to the right of the lane. The pass goes to Rob Gardner. He gets into the air and is tied up. Gardner at 6'7" will jump against Gary Webster at 6 feet in the South Charleston foul circle. Willie talking to his kids, directing the traffic over there. Jump ball goes to South Charleston. Back to Gardner, rather to Thompson, and off to Bradley. 2-3 Logan zone. Bradley short, firing over, and the ball taken out of the air by Gator. Here they come on the attack. Down the floor to Browning. Browning over to Elmore. Now down into the right corner, and a pass broken up and stolen. Gary Webster tried to force the pass inside. South Charleston knocked it down, came up with the ball. Bradley in the front court, down to Thompson in the right corner. Thompson back outside to Bradley. Bradley, 17-footer. No good. Rebound in the lane, up in front. The shot by David Hall, blocked by Gator. Number 1 by Gator. Here comes the Logan attack. Webster goes to the basket, misses the layup, and the rebound is pulled down by Bobby Gardner. Traveling call.
Each team 4 of 7 from the field, Jack.
All right, let's see what happens now. Here they come into Hayner. Hayner brings it back outside, drops it off to Webster, down to Hayner. He cuts the baseline from the left side, puts the bounce pass across the lane. Over on the right side, Elmore takes it for a 10-foot jumper that is good. And the score is 10-9 in favor of Logan. So already we've had 5 lead changes here in the first quarter. Bradley, medium speed, coming in to meet the Logan 2-3 zone. He goes to the left wing over to Miller. They bring Gardner out high. Now swing him over to the right side of the lane. Ball goes to Gardner. Puts it on the floor. Back out to Bradley. Shoots top of the key. Off the rim. Gardner with the follow-up. Banks it in. Bobby Gardner. Another lead change. South Charleston on top by 1. Here comes Logan. Steve Browning getting the ball inside, and the rebound. Was that a shot or a pass?
Pass.
It was a pass. Almost like a shot. Came down, taken to South Charleston. Now they put Thompson in that right corner again. They will work David Hall low on one side of the lane, and they will range Bob Gardner out high. Now they will alternate them, swing those 2 big men around. Every now and then Thompson will slip in along the baseline against the zone on the weak side. Pass goes right in the middle to Hall. Lays it up good. Swung around the defensive man, put it up, and the score is 13-10. They've got a good set offense. They love to go inside, Fred. Here's the shot from the outside by Gary Webster. Off the rim and a rebound taken by South Charleston. They're running. Bradley brings it all the way down. Lays it up, no good. A tap, no good, and a rebound foul. This one will be charged.
It's going to be on David Hall for going over the back.
Okay, David Hall gets it. 1:20 to play. 13-10. Logan attacking. Round to the right wing. Elmore with the ball. Cross to the left side. Hayner goes to the basket. He scores. Brought it in for the left side. Went right to the basket and scored it for Logan. 13-12. South Charleston by 1. Bradley getting double team pressure in the back. Here's a long pass down to Thompson. And coming over to pick him up, he is fouled in a collision. Ron Gator getting his second foul. Trying to get to the ball, and he got actually to the man. Bradley outside with the ball up over his head. Now the 2 front men out here are Elmore and Webster. They're very active wherever the ball is, but now they collapse back in there. They tighten it up. And around the perimeter, South Charleston works with the ball with less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Now we've got Mark Miller out on the point, and Bradley comes out to take the ball from him, swinging around to the left side. And over there on the wing, it goes to Thompson. Back out to Bradley. He loses the ball. There is a jumble for it at midcourt. Mark Miller comes up with it. Logan players all around him. The pass comes down to the baseline to Gardner. Gardner over to Hall, puts it up and in, right side of the lane. 15-12. Great hustle that time by both clubs. South Charleston won the battle. Logan on the attack. Wildcats go to the left. Hayner back out in the middle. The pass out to Elmore. Shot from the top of the key is good. Willie Elmore right at the top of the circle. 15-14. And there is the end of the first quarter. We've got South Charleston with a 1-point lead. We'll return after these messages from our State Tournament Network sponsors.
For the 5th straight year, the youngsters of West Virginia, along with kids from at least 25 other states and 4 foreign countries, will enjoy the fun and learning offered by the nation's finest. Gail Catlett's 1983 Mountaineer Basketball Camp. We'll have 2 weeks for boys, June 12th through the 24th. The next week is for girls, and the final week, July 3rd through the 8th, is set aside for boys competition and team play. The Gail Catlett Basketball Camp is held on the West Virginia University campus with an outstanding staff of coaches. Housing is provided in the air-conditioned Towers dorms. There are 3 delicious meals a day, all you can eat, plus swimming, movies, attitude sessions, weight training, and outstanding guest speakers. For a full-color brochure and a full-color picture of the 83 Mountaineers, you want to write to me. Send your name and address to Jack Catt. Send it to Jack Catt, care of the Mountaineer Basketball Camp, Post Office Box 877, Morgantown, West Virginia, zip 26505.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days, and no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home. Proud to be involved in what's good for our community.
All right, back here at the Charleston Civic Center, Jack, in the first quarter, Logan shoots 7 of 10 from the field, 70%. South Charleston 7 of 12, 58%. In the battle of the big men, Gator has 1 block shot, 2 rebounds. Hall with 2 rebounds, no block shots. Gator 2 fouls, Hall with 1.
All right, Fred, we're ready to jump it up to start the second quarter. Gardner in there to jump against Ron Gator. Gardner gets the tap, and it goes to Logan. Picked off by Browning. Browning comes down and feeds it across to Gary Webster, who scores it, and we have a foul on the play. That makes it a 16-15 Logan lead right at the start of the second period. 4th team foul on South Charleston, and you will charge it to David Bradley. Gary Webster at the line to the left. Shot is good. 3-point play, Gary Webster. Now Logan leading by a 17-15 count. South Charleston has had 3 3-point leads. Here is Thompson driving. He was closely guarded. Put it up, no good, but a follow-up made good by Bobby Gardner. 17-17 in the first tie of the ballgame. Gardner on the follow-up shot. Logan back into the front court. Wildcats have Gary Webster going to the left corner to Browning. They play Browning over in the corner. Round on the right wing is Elmore, and his pass going into Gator is picked off. Now the ruling out of bounds to Logan. Inbounder will be Gary Webster. They work it around to the top, out on to Greg Hayter. Elmore with the ball. Back around to the right side. Webster cuts toward the lane, lays it up, banks it around the rim and in. And he was fouled. Going to give this one to Bob Gardner. That will be his first. Gary Webster got a nice shot up on the move at the right side of the lane. 19-17 in favor of the Wildcats, and Webster misses. And the rebound taken by David Hall. David Bradley. Top of the key. Pass over to Thompson in the right corner. Thompson whips the ball into David Hall. Hall goes up for a hook shot. Called for traveling. No basket. Elmore will be the inbounder. To Webster. Back again to Elmore. Hustles the ball up over the midcourt line. 1-3-1 zone for the Black Eagles. Pass to the right side. Hayner makes a move. He travels. That turnover gives it back to South Charleston. Bobby Gardner on the inbounds play. Here they come into the front court. On the left wing, Miller with the ball. Back outside again to Bradley. Bradley dribbles it around between the rings. The pass goes down to the right corner to Thompson. Thompson looks under. Pass back outside to Gardner. Feeds a low alley-ooper into Hall. His shot blocked by Gator, then picked up by a teammate. Fired up there. No good. Gator with the rebound, and the ball comes down to Webster. Webster drives into the key, takes it into the lane, goes to the basket. Blocked from behind by Bob Gardner. Gardner made a brilliant move behind him, Fred, to block that one, and it went out of bounds. I have Gator now with 2 block shots. The other night I tried to keep tabs on him. I couldn't keep up with him. Long one left side. Browning hits it. 16 feet out. Angle left. And Browning hits it. 21-17. This is the biggest lead in the ballgame. 4 points. South Charleston on the attack. Bobby Gardner moving that ball into the low post. Deflected. Out of bounds off the fingertips of David Hall.
Turnovers even at 4 apiece, Jack.
So at the moment, Bill Walton is not looking at a timeout. In fact, he can't get it right now because Logan's got the basketball. But he's down by 4. He's got to be thinking about it. Gary Webster comes back out with a pass to Elmore, and then to Webster in the left corner. There's his shot, air ball. Pulled out of the air on the right side by Gary Thompson. Moved down the floor to Bradley. Bradley almost lost his footing. Cuts outside in the middle. David Bradley shoots, top of the key, around the rim, no good. Rebound, David Hall puts it up and in, and he was fouled.
Gator.
Oh, that's going to be number 3 on Gator. .19 game. Gator picks up his 3rd foul. We have a timeout with 5:37 to play in the first half. Timeout on the floor, the score. Logan 21, South Charleston 19.
Go get it. Go get it. The most refreshing way to make the most of every day. And wherever you go and whatever you do, there's something big waiting for me and you. Go get it. The biggest taste you've ever found. Go get it. The one that never lets you down. Go get it. The most refreshing taste around. Go get it. It's the smile you can't hide, 'cause it comes
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same could be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home. Proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Jack, as we look around the Civic Center tonight, it's crowded. There's not a seat to be found anywhere.
So that means we have what appears to be capacity, 12,500 for this ball game. And it's a tribute to the clubs that play here tonight. David Hall will go to the line. Logan has inserted Timmy Abels, a 6'2 junior, into its lineup. Hall at the line to the right. The shot is in and out, up against the glass, back in. David Hall converts the three-pointer, 21-20. Logan in the lead. Willie Elmore on the attack. Back out deep to Steve Browning. Down to the left corner to Webster. Webster on the dribble comes back outside. Bounces over right deep to Elmore. Whips it toward the right corner to Browning. Browning gives it to Elmore. Elmore with the ball up over his head to Browning in the right corner. He takes the long one from the corner up off the rim. Scramble for the rebound. Pulled down by Bob Gardner. Gardner gives the ball to Bradley, and Bradley turns on the offensive attack. South Charleston moves left to right with the ball. Bradley outside with the ball up over his head. Over into the left corner for the shot by Thompson. High up ball in the rim. Browning with the rebound for Logan. Down the floor to Webster. Webster comes into the lane. Feeds it across to the right side. Gets away from Hayner. Picked up at the baseline. Fired up inside by Abels. No good in the rebound. Take up to South Charleston. Here's Bradley throwing a pass wide out of bounds. He had himself a cutter, but the cutter was delayed, Fred. So the pass was well ahead of him.
Pass was well intended, just as you say, just a little bit delayed when they got stopped there along the lane.
South Charleston cheering section to our left, Logan to our right. If you've never been to a state tournament, you've got to be here to believe it and see it. Sensational. Logan in the blue uniforms on the attack. Cutting down to the left side of the lane with a man on him. Greg Hayner with a running one-hander, and he puts it up. Logan leads 23-20. Logan pressure in the backcourt. Bradley breaks the pressure. Comes straight down the middle, dishes the ball off to the left side, and it's laid up and in by David Hall. Great play by Bradley. He is their assist leader, and that time he showed that capability. Came down, took two defensive men with him, and then dished it off and allowed Hall to come in and score from the left wing. 23-22. Logan leading by one, 3:55 to play. Here's a steal, David Hall, but it went out of bounds right in front of us. Logan gets the ball back. Elmore's pass dropped by Steve Browning and picked up by South Charleston. Black Eagles back on the attack. The ever-present Bradley, 6 feet, 180, a junior, into the front court. Little alley-oop pass goes into Hall. He takes it, lays it up good. David Hall from David Bradley, 24-23. South Charleston comes back into the lead, and the battle continues. On the left side, Logan with the ball. Browning back outside to Webster. Bounces around to the right side to Elmore. Now out to Webster. Long one. No good. Up off the rim and a rebound by David Hall. Turning on the attack. South Charleston pushes it into the front court. David Bradley sets up the play outside. Logan playing a 2-3 zone. Bradley looks under the pass, comes deep right to Gardner. Gardner bounces into the pivot man, and we have a jump ball. He's tied up. David Hall tied up by Steve Browning. They're ready to jump. And we have a whistle on the jump ball. Logan will get it, a violation by South Charleston. 24-23. Bill Walton, 16 years as a head coach. Willie Akers, 22 years as a head coach. And a great story in the local papers about Walton and how a kid who had been one of his athletes had wound up in prison on a drug charge, and how that kid wrote him a letter and told him how much his teaching had been. Here is Elmore getting the outside shot as they work for it, and he hits it straight down the middle, and the lead changes back to Logan Head. Here's a steal by Elmore, and he goes up for a shot, blocked solidly by Bob Gardner. Gardner blocks it. Elmore will be the inbounder for Logan on the left side to Hayner. Hayner from the corner area, jump shot, short, off the rim. Rebound, David Hall. Gives the ball to Bradley. So that young man in the prison wrote Coach Walton a letter, and he said, I've learned a lesson, and now I'm studying. When I get out of here shortly, I'll have a new life. And that's what coaching is all about. Open man, back door. Ball comes into Thompson. He lays it up good, and he was fouled. Thompson had slipped in on him from the weak side. Got the pass, laid it up inside for South Charleston. He was fouled on the play. The lead swings back to the Black Eagles, 26-25, and Gary Thompson can make it a 2-point lead. Charge the foul to Timmy Abels, his first. 2:12 to play. Gary Thompson at the line to our right. 6'4" junior for South Charleston. Rolls it over the rim, down the left. Oh, good at the rebound. Pulled down by Abels. Here they come on the attack. It's Webster in the front court to Hayner. Hayner drives into the lane, and he banks it in. Greg Hayner coming in laterally from the right side, 27-26, and another lead change. Less than 2 minutes to go. The ball in the backcourt to Bradley. They double team him. He moves it up over the midcourt line to Thompson. Thompson off to the right side to Gardner. Gardner to Bradley. Down underneath it goes to Hall. Hall goes for the shot. Nope, he traveled. We've had 10 lead changes already in this ballgame. Willie Elmore, medium speed over the midcourt line. South Charleston giving it a 2-3 look on defense right now from the zone. Logan going into the corner to Browning, then back out to Hayner. Hayner off balance shot from the lane, but he traveled. Turning it back over to South Charleston. Logan leading by 1, 27-26. Logan comes in with a record of 21-4. Both of those losses were to AA teams. South Charleston is 23-2. Logan lost twice to Williamson and twice to North Fork. Interception by Steve Browning at half court. As South Charleston took the ball, Browning gets it back for Logan. Now we get a traveling call against Logan, and that turns the ball back over to South Charleston.
South Charleston with 10 turnovers in the game, Logan with 9. Most of those coming in the second period for both teams.
Inbounder is Bob Gardner to Bradley. Bradley has the ball knocked down. They hustle after it. It was knocked down by Hayner. It was picked up by Webster. He comes outside with the ball to Browning. Over to Webster. Webster goes baseline right. He travels. Both coaches are up directing traffic. Inbounds play to Bradley. Now Bradley working against the press. 55 seconds to go. Here he comes down on the right side. Cuts back out between the circles. He's got Webster on him. Webster wears him. He's wearing Webster, I should say, like a glove. He goes over to the left wing to Miller. Back around to the right side, and they got a new man, Tony Badger, in the ballgame, a 6'2 junior. Pass on the wing to Gardner. Then back out to Bradley. Shoots top of the circle. Right there. David Bradley. 28-27. South Charleston with the lead. 26 seconds to go in the first half. Bradley, deadly at that spot, right at the top of the key. Elmore's in the front court. He and Hayner are going to run some time off. Hayner breaks in across the hash mark and comes back out to Elmore. 8 seconds. Ball goes to Webster toward the left corner for the shot by Browning. It's good. 18 feet over Steve Browning. 29-28. South Charleston Lets the ball fly, but time runs out. Wowee! The lead changed. 12 times. Logan leads 29-28 at the end of the first half, and we'll return after these messages from our State Tournament Network sponsor.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days, and no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home, proud to be involved in what's good for our community. So there you have the first half, and it was a nail-biter game, and it would continue to be a nail-biter game throughout. Steve, you really carried the load offensively for Logan there in the first half. How did that happen? Was it the South Charleston defense, or was it just your night to hit?
Well, you know, I think primarily everybody's goal playing us was to try to stop Gary Webster from penetrating and scoring. Gary was, he was probably the best guard I ever played with. He really was a fantastic basketball player. Along with Ron Gator, trying to stop those two is probably the focus point of all the teams that we played. So therefore, I was left open. Most teams played zone, as South Charleston played a zone. I was able to get some shots from the corners and from the wings that fortunately fell. And once once that first one or two falls, your confidence grows, and shooting a basketball is a lot easier in front of 12,000 people when you've made one or two.
I know you had in your mind from the time you were in grade school and junior high what it would be like to run out on the floor and play in a state championship game for the Logan Wildcats. What was it like?
It was as good as any anticipating moment that I ever thought of. All my life growing up, you're right, Speedy, I not only just, my thought was just to play on that basketball team. When you get into high school, it was a goal just to be able to make that Logan High School basketball team. You look at it up there and you go to the games over here and you see all those guys. You know their names. You know everybody from the best player to the last player on that team. And that was everybody's dream as a little kid, was to be on that. It wasn't necessarily to make it to the college or the pros, but first it was, I want to make that basketball team. And then to play in a state championship game was extra special.
Willie, it's halftime. You're up by a point. Were you more of a chalkboard guy, let's make adjustments, or were you just a let's strap them on and let's hitch them up in the second half?
I just was hoping that we could get started our offense a little bit better. Like you said, Steve was the one scoring the points and doing a great job. And I might mention that Steve played forward at a small, and then Greg Hayner was small playing forward. Of course, we had the big man in the middle. But, he was talking about wanting to do this all his life. Well, the typical family that we had playing basketball at Logan, for the whole time I was here, was never in my days did I get a family coming in wanting to tell me what to do. And Steve's family was always there. His dad would come to practice, sit over, and you didn't even know who he was. I knew who he was, but he'd sit over and watch and never open his mouth. I could chew on Steve all I wanted to. And I'm sure he'd have said good. But that's the kind of
Steve your whipping boy?
No, he wasn't my whipping boy. But he did what I told me. And his son is the same type of player right now today. But anyway, it was one of those things that we were ahead maybe a little bit, and then I knew that we were in good shape because we were going to come through, and I wasn't worried too much.
You talk about that 64 team. I also think about the 70 team, the 74 team. Throughout your coaching career, most of the time we had size disadvantages. How did you compensate for that, and what were the difficulties of playing South Charleston on this particular night? That was a very big ball club.
All of them worried about our fast break. Up to everybody we played, they wanted to get back on defense, make sure we didn't run our break on them. So therefore, I don't think they hit the boards as hard as some teams would send all 5 of them in to rebound. They always try to keep someone back, and I think that's what helped us a lot. But these guys were leapers. They could get off the floor and get the ball, and then when they did get it, they whipped it out, and they were off to the races.
Steve, you were almost the second tallest player on the team at 6'2", 6'2 and a half. South Charleston on the front line, 6'7", 6'6", 6'5". What was it like there in the pit?
It's like that every game with us, pretty much. Back that day, AAA basketball always had a lot of kids, big kids. Stonewall Jackson was huge everywhere. I don't think Fairmont was very big, but Wheeling Park always had big kids. It was just the norm for us playing that way. You try to box out, you try to rebound, and as Coach Eggers said, you get the rebound, you turn and go. We were a little bit different than most of his other teams. His other teams would kick the ball out traditionally to the guard, hit the other guard in the middle. Greg and I were basically guards playing forward. If we got the rebound in the right spot, we just went to the middle with it ourselves and started the transition that way. But rebounding is just all really speedy of watching that basketball, know where it's coming off and trying to get there. And it's an art as much as it is size and strength.
What other thought on South Charleston? Willie, what did you respect about a Bill Walton coach team? What did they do well?
Bill Walton always had discipline. Bill Walton had workers, hard workers, and they played you tough defensively and all that. And Bill Walton was a gentleman on and off the court. Now, he could raise a lot of cane on that court, and he did.
All right, let's go to the second half of the AAA state tournament. 1983, Logan and South Charleston. The Wildcats have the smallest of leads beginning the third quarter. And again, here's Jack Fleming.
33-32. Logan by 1. Elmore of Logan on the attack. 3:19. Outside to Gardner. Or rather to Webster. Back over to Elmore. Jump shot short. Pulled out of the air by Hall. Hall to Bradley. Bradley down the far side. Right of the front court. Into the right corner to Thompson. Thompson tries to get it inside. Knocked down by Gator. Back out again to Bradley. Bradley to the right side to Gardner. Gardner deep to Bradley. Bradley has it on the floor, and he's got Webster right with him. Over to Thompson again. A 2-3 zone. Thompson shoots from the corner area. Good. Baseline right. Gary Thompson. South Charleston retakes the lead. 34-33. That game with 2:40 remaining in the third quarter. And the shot from the left corner area. Steve Browning. 35-34. And here we go again. They get their rifles sharpened up and ready to go. Both sides. Pass to half court. Broken up by Steve Browning. And the foul called on Browning, his first. South Charleston puts the ball in play. Over in the right wing now to Thompson, back out to Bradley. Shoots top of the key. He's done it 3 times. He's made them all tonight. 36-35, and the lead goes back to South Charleston. We had 12 lead changes in the first half. Now we are up to 15. From the left corner, the shot taken by Browning is no good, and the rebound by South Charleston. Here come the Black Eagles. Bradley over the midcourt line. Pass over to the right wing. Taken by Thompson. Back to Bradley, top of the key. Bradley puts it on the floor. Pursued by Elmore. The pass. Hash mark right. Over to Thompson. Back out again to Bradley. Almost stolen. Bradley keeps a double team from the zone. On the right side. Bounces the ball to Hall. Now the pass broken up. Here comes Elmore on the break. Elmore down the floor. Lead pass to Hayner. Hayner takes it, lays it up. He travels. No basket. Hayner took the lead pass. Basket nullified, traveling. 36-35, South Charleston in the lead. Inbounds play, Gardner hands it in to Bradley. Got Hall in the front court. Whistle blows. Gary Webster hit with his third foul. It's a holding call. They whistled it, and then 2 players looked at him. The Logan player wanted traveling. The South Charleston player wanted the foul, and it was a foul. Now here is David Hall going to the line. That's the 15th foul on Logan. South Charleston has 1. Hall has 14 points, all in the first half. Co-captain of the Black Eagles hits. 37-35. That is a 2-point lead for South Charleston. Hall ready again. Puts it up. Good. 38-35. South Charleston with a 3-point advantage. 1:17 to play in the third quarter. South Charleston in a 2-3 zone. Webster back outside to Elmore. Hayner is working high now. Here is Webster driving down to the baseline as he gets a shot away. A foul is called. Foul charged to David Hall. It was on the shot. So Webster will go to the line. Logan in the first half shot only 2 free throws, and Webster had them both. He was 1 for 2. Webster at the line. He uses a wide open stance. Pumps it up, across the rim and in. Good. 38-36. 1:07 to play in the third quarter. What else is new, Fred? Close ball game.
Okay, you get all the good ones, Jack.
Webster misses. Rebound. Gardner, South Charleston. Gives the ball to Bradley. Bradley coming right to left, coming over the midcourt line. Works with the ball outside. He is picked up by Willie Elmore. 54 seconds. Bradley over on the right wing to Gardner. Gardner into the right corner to David Hall. Now back out to Bradley. They work Thompson into the left corner. Here's a foul on Elmore outside. Number 3 on Willie Elmore. Stabbed at the ball, and that's going to send Bradley to the line. Bradley against Weir hit 6 of 9 free throws. His first shot of the night. Back of the rim, no good, and the ball tipped around. Coming down with it underneath Hall. He traveled. David Hall had the inside position and the rebound, but the ball slipped out of his hands, and as he went for a traveling call. Now we have debris on the floor, so they will have to hold up. That's the first time I can remember seeing that here. Somebody in the crowd tossed ice out on the floor. Among our network stations, WAJR Morgantown, WXBA Charlestown, WPMW in Mullins. Nice to have you aboard tonight. 41 seconds to play in the third quarter. South Charleston leading Logan 38-36. Well, it came from the direction of South Charleston, and Bill Walton went over and waved to his student body and said, "No more." I love it. That's exactly the way high school ball should be. And Walton said, "I want no more of it." Here on the right side, Browning. Back out again to Elmore, to Browning again toward the right corner. He fires an 18-footer around the rim. Doesn't make it. Rebound knocked down. Out of bounds. David Hall made a great effort to save it. Diving, trying to get it before it hit the turf. Or hit the wood, whatever it hits. 20 seconds. Inbounds play deep right to Webster. Webster holds the ball. South Charleston back in the 1-3-1. South Charleston is playing Mark Miller back under the basket. Now they shift that defense. Logan goes baseline left. Hayner tries to get a shot up, blocked. South Charleston with the ball. Time running out. Bradley from half court. He hit it! Holy smokes! Unbelievable. David Bradley has brought this crowd to its feet. Actually, Bradley appeared to have misread the clock. When he released it, I was thinking he let it go too early. Directly in front of our broadcast position, and I'm not exaggerating, right at the center line, Bradley on the move, one-handed the ball down, and it went through nothing but nets. So the score is 40-36 in favor of the Black Eagles at the end of the third quarter. We'll return after these Tournament Network messages.
High up at Snowshoe, we're still skiing, because up here we're almost a mile high in the sky, and it's cold, and you know what that means for late season skiing. It's fantastic. But after March 21st, it'll be even better, with 35% savings on lifts, lessons, lodging, and rentals. In Snowshoe, West Virginia, we call that almost heaven. So for big savings on big mountain skiing, call 304-799-6600. it's still winter at Snowshoe.
In the West Virginia coal and construction industries, the one thing you can't afford is equipment downtime. You need equipment you can rely on. You need Anderson Equipment. Anderson Equipment Company is committed to providing the state's coal and construction industries with the best equipment and product support services available. And to ensure fast service, they have one of the largest parts inventories in the state, with locations in Charleston, Kingwood, and Jane Lou, and soon to be located in Beckley. Anderson Equipment Company is helping to construct West Virginia's future.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same could be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days, and no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so is the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home, proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Jack Fleming along with Fred Persinger, Harold Griffin, and Tony Gonzalez here at the Charleston Civic Center, and the tap goes to Logan. Wildcats down before. Webster drives into the lane, one hands it up in front, good, and he was fouled. Gary Webster makes the shot, 12-foot range in the paint. Fouled by David Hall. Hall's third foul. 40-38. What a shot by David Bradley. That's one that he'll remember all of his life. Half court, we figure about 45 feet out. Gary Webster now with a three-point chance for Logan. Rolls it over the rim and in, good. 40-39. Logan back to within one. Final quarter. Logan full court pressure. Hall to Bradley. Bradley double team. Gets it into the front court to Mark Miller. Miller outside to Bradley. Bradley between the circles. Miller posts up high. The ball on the lob pass into the right corner to Thompson. Thompson puts it on the floor. Back to Bradley. Here's Bradley, top of the key. Misses for the first time at that spot. Ball knocked out of bounds by Logan. South Charleston gets it back. Bradley is 3 out of 4 right at the top of the circle. He is 1 out of 2 at half court. In Morgantown at halftime, that'll win you a trip to Jamaica. So Bradley hit that one from half court at the end of the first, or rather at the end of the third quarter. Here is great defense by Logan, smothering South Charleston, and the Black Eagles give up the ball out of bounds. Logan on the attack. Willie Elmore over the midcourt line. Wildcats move left to right. 1-3-1 zone shifting for South Charleston. Elmore to the left, hooks it into Hayner, and Hayner is fouled by Bradley. Number 2 on David Bradley. That is the third team foul on the Black Eagles. Now we're getting a timeout in the ball game with 7:16 to play, and timeout on the floor of the score. South Charleston 40, Logan 39.
Old Man Winter is losing his grip on the weather, so we're starting to have some nice days sprinkled here and there. Now's the time to finalize your plans for spring improvement around your home or business. If you're planning on resurfacing your driveway with a fresh bed of crushed rock, Farrell Excavating is ready to assist you with their rock crushing plant at Millville. They have 6 sizes of crushed and screened rock for the mining industry, commercial and residential use. Rock for roads, reclamation and stabilization projects, septic tank filtering systems, parking areas, base for asphalt, and dry beds for concrete. Farrell Excavating will haul it anywhere, or you may haul it yourself. Call 752-1416 for information. For new sidewalks or patios, contact Logan Concrete or Madison Ready Mix. These locally owned businesses can help you complete your spring projects quickly. Farrell Excavating, Logan Concrete, where service has been the first consideration since 1932.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home, proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Logan inbounds the ball. Elmore to the right side, going to the right corner to Browning. Browning back to Elmore. They post up Hayner high and then drift him out of there. Back to the right corner for the shot by Browning. Air ball over the basket. Rebound. David Hall, South Charleston. 7 minutes to go. South Charleston leading 40-39. Here is David Bradley for the Black Eagles in the front court. Hits Hall. They got Hall double posted out high along with Mark Miller. Now they drift out of that. The ball comes to Miller on the point. Miller goes right over to Bradley. Bradley from the wing. Moves it into Hall. Turnaround shot on the right side. No good. Beautiful defensive play by Gator. Down the floor to Elmore. Hayner on the right side. And South Charleston falls back on the bench. The ball whipped back out to Webster. He goes down the lane. Lays it up. It is good. And an offensive foul called. No player control. Give the score to Webster. That will move Logan into the lead 41-40. Okay? Now we have a foul on Webster on a charge. We'll go back to the other end to shoot. Webster hits that lane like a streak of lightning. I mean, he is quick. The offended player is Mark Miller. Miller put in 4 in a row at the end of last night's game in a critical part against Weir High. Miller at the line to the left hit.
Jack, with 6 minutes and a half left to be played in the game, Webster has to be careful now because he's playing with 4 personal fouls.
Okay, we have another tie. I show that as the second tie. And here is Miller putting it in, and the lead retaken by South Charleston. 17th lead change. Outside with the ball, Webster. Fred points out he's playing with 4 fouls. And here's a foul called on South Charleston. I believe on Thompson. It is Gary Thompson. That's his third. Frank Blake, public address announcer, has worked 87 basketball games in here this month or something like that. Free throw try by Hayner is no good. And back comes South Charleston with the rebound and down the floor. Black Eagles leading 42-41. Every announcement Blake makes is like the end of the world. He does it with great class. Worked the conference tournament, the Southern Conference tournament, and also the state tournament. Bradley with the ball in the front court for South Charleston to the right wing over to Thompson. Thompson being pursued. They switch on him by the outside men. Logan giving a 1-3-1 defensive look with Browning back under the basket. Here's Bradley with the ball outside. Bradley one bounce. Pass to the left wing. Comes over to Gardner. Gardner gets into the Hall. He hooks one up, no good. Follow up by Thompson, no good. And Hall gets the ball, but it's stolen from him by Hayner. Hayner driving down the floor. Lead pass goes to Webster. Drive, shot no good. And a blocking call against South Charleston. The Logan Express was moving. Foul will be charged to Mark Miller. Number 1 on Miller. Gary Webster at the line for 2 shots. 17 points in the ball game. Puts it up. Good. Tie ball game. Third tie of the evening. 5:25 to play. 42-42. Gary Webster of Logan can give the Wildcats back the lead. Webster at the line to the right. Shot short off the rim. Rebound Hall. South Charleston gives the ball to Bradley. David Bradley right to left. Medium speed coming up at the 10-second line into the front court. Logan sets up in a 2-3 zone. Active outside going after the ball. Into the right corner to Thompson, outside to Bradley. Bradley whips it over to Gardner. Gardner double team back to Bradley. Bradley looks at the basket. Feeds it into the lane. Taken to Hall. Turnaround shot good. David Hall. 44-42. South Charleston. Logan pushes it over the midcourt line to Browning. Out to Webster. Back into the left corner to Browning. Browning can't get loose. Back to Webster. Webster left of the key. Down to the baseline to Hayner. Comes under. Shot blocked by Thompson. And Gary Thompson fouled. That will be number 4 on Gary Thompson. Greg Hayner will go to the line. Now let's see what he has done here in Charleston at the foul line. Hayner 3 out of 4 against West Fairmont. And Hayner 9 out of 10 against Stonewall. Here he is hitting. I'd forgotten his 9 out of 10 performance. 44-43. South Charleston with a 1-point lead. Hayner hits another one. Ties it up. Got the 4th tie. Bradley surrounded by Wildcats. Brings it over the midcourt line. Bradley holds up a quarter court right side. Over in front of the scoring table. 4:39 to go in the ball game. Tie 44-44. AAA title West Virginia on the line. Bradley with the ball. Bradley outside in the middle goes to Gardner. Gardner bounced down to Hall. Hall goes up. Gator blocks the shot and coming up with it Logan. Hall had the inside shot and Gator blocked it. I have him with 4 of them. Logan got the ball. Wildcats right wing to Hayner. Gator has not scored, but he has been invaluable around that basket. They go to Browning. Browning right side of the lane. Puts up a one-hander. It is no good. Fight for the rebound. And we have a foul call. This one will be charged to Greg Hayner of Logan. That takes us back to the other end of the floor. 4:06 play in the ball game. The shooter will be David Hall on the 1-and-1. He has made 4 out of 4. He has 18 points in the ball game. David Hall at the line to the left of the shot is good. 45-44 South Charleston with a 1-point lead. David Hall, 6'6", 205, a senior, averaging 19.6 per game. Second shot, perfect. 46-44 South Charleston in the lead. Here comes Logan, always running. Browning in the front court, back out again to Webster. Round to the right side to Elmore. Looks down to Hayner. Now gives it outside to Webster. Takes the long shot. No good. Rebound. Gator. Follow-up shot from the left is no good. Fight for the rebound. Getting it. Gardner. And the foul called on Bobby Gardner of South Charleston. That will be his 3rd. At the line will be Steve Browning. They have not signaled. 1-and-1. There's the signal. Browning puts it up. No good. Follow up by Gator. He's right there. His first field goal. Tie up the ball game. 5th tie. Coming with 3:45. Pressure on South Charleston. Bradley double team. Moves it over the midcourt line to Miller. Miller back outside again to Hall. Hall playing out near the center circle. Goes right with a pass over to Thompson. Hash mark right side. Back again to Bradley. Bradley on a slow dribble off to the right side. Feeds the ball to the high post to Gardner. Gardner looks down underneath. Shovels it down to Hall. Hall shot rejected by Gator. Thompson gets it for a follow-up. No good. Logan has the rebound. And a foul called on South Charleston. I have Gator now with 5 blocked shots. Foul called on Mark Miller of South Charleston. His 2nd. Now Bill Walton has his coat off.
He threw his coat off. I have been watching him all game, wondering how long it would take. And we have 3:17 left to go in the game. He lasted pretty good tonight, Jack.
Willie Elmore at the line to the right on the 1-and-1, and it is good. Elmore hits. The lead swings back to Logan. That is the 18th lead change. Elmore against Stonewall hit 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Second one is good. He makes them both. 48-46. 3:17 to go. Eagles get it in play. Mark Miller. They took too long. Violated the 5-second rule. So we're getting a timeout of the ball game. When we come back, it will be Logan's basketball. 3:17 to play, and with timeout on the floor of the score. Logan 48, South Charleston 46.
The most refreshing way to make the most of every day. And wherever you go and whatever you do, there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it. It's the smile you can't hide, 'cause it comes from inside. Like the time that you spend with your family and friends. It's the way that you feel when you know it's real. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it. Coke is it.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home, proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Clock shows 3:17 to play. Logan has retaken the lead at 48-46 on the 2 free throws. And now forcing the turnover on the violation on the inbounds play. And now Logan gets it out of bounds. Elmore under his own basket. Into the left side to Hayner. Hayner on the dribble brings it back outside. Willie Akers has set the strategy for his club. And Bill Walton is signaling to his team to come out and get him. Elmore outside. He knows that Logan will play for the percentage shot now. Elmore in the left corner, deep, far side of the floor, being chased by Bradley. Now Webster comes out to take it. Webster bounces off deep right. In the corner to Browning. Back over to the other corner now to Elmore. They work the corner slow down pretty well. Hayner back outside again to Webster. 2:42. Webster dribbling around. Webster to Elmore right in front of us in the deep right corner. He's double team, triple team. Bounces the ball over on the far side to Hayner, or rather to Browning. Back again to Elmore. Elmore on the near side, kicked out of bounds by Bobby Gardner. 2:29 to play. Logan leading 48-46. The Wildcats have the ball. South Charleston requests a timeout. So a timeout on the floor, the score. Logan 48, South Charleston 46.
Uncommon quality. That's the one thing all Rogers church organs have in common. And that's why we're so proud to announce that the complete line of Rogers church organs is now available at Don Elkins Music in Logan, Williamson, the Midway Mall, and Beckley. You see, no 2 Rogers church organs are ever alike. Every model, regardless of price, has its own unique features. And every instrument has its own personality. If your church is considering a new organ, stop by Don Elkins Music and hear the tones of a Rogers church organ. They're authentic organic and pure, and see the beautiful wood cabinetry that distinguishes each Rogers Church organ. If you appreciate quality, you'll find that the things all Rogers Church organs have in common combine to make them the most uncommon organ value today. So stop by soon and let our friendly personnel show you the complete line of Rogers Church organs on display now at Don Elkins Music in Logan, Williamson, the Midway Mall, and Beckley. By the way, financing is available on Rogers Church organs at Don Elkins Music.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs, Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home, proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
The crowd tonight, 12,002, Fred, the largest crowd to ever see a basketball game here in the Coliseum.
And there must be 498 people that sneaked in, Jack, because there's still not a seat available around here.
Total attendance 66,681, averaging 9,522 per session. And the people in this state love their high school basketball. To the left wing now. Logan has it in play to Hayner. Now to go to Webster at the top of the key. They work the four corners nicely. Elmore in the deep left corner into Webster and then back out deep in the center circle to Browning. Browning is covered. Back over again to Elmore. 2:10 to go. Down to Hayner in the left corner. Hayner alley-oops the ball to Gator. Gator in front of the basket, lays it up good. Nice pass. Gator moved in front of the basket, put it up and in. 50-46. That is with 2:02 to play. 2 minutes to go. Bradley, calm and cool. He's in the front court. Right wing to Thompson. Back again to David Bradley. Bradley shoots. It's short this time. Out of bounds. Now, Bill Walton wants a timeout. That is Bradley's spot. He had made 3 out of 4 out there, but that one was short. So we have 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining to play in the ball game. Timeout on the floor of the score. Logan 50, South Charleston 46.
Coke is it, the most refreshing way to make the most of every day. And wherever you go and whatever you do, there's something big waiting for me and you. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it. It's a smile you can't hide, 'cause it comes from inside. Like the time that you spend with your family and friends. It's the way that you feel when you know it's real. Coke is it, the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is it, the one that never lets you down. Coke is it, the most refreshing taste around. Coke is it. Coke is it.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs, Logan County Coal. safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home. Proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Some of the Logan reserves are excited, and Willie has to be telling them to calm down because Pepperdine led North Carolina State by 6 with 57 seconds to go. Remember that, Fred?
I remember.
And they were celebrating on the Pepperdine bench, and that one wound up a disaster. It's not over. Minute 47 to go. Logan has the ball out of bounds and full court pressure from South Charleston. Webster the inbounder, and it comes in to Steve Browning. He's trapped over to Webster. Webster gets away from one man. Webster over the midcourt line. They break the pressure, and Webster takes it down on the left side, comes back out, and gives it deep to Browning. Browning over on the right side to Hayner. Hayner on the near side to Willie Elmore. And Elmore is fouled. He caught an arm in the nose there accidentally as they scrambled after the ball. Elmore will shake it off. It happened earlier to David Bradley of South Charleston. This time to Willie Elmore of Logan. I believe we're getting a timeout, or are we?
Just an official's timeout, Jack, just so they can
only
check
an
Elmore.
official's timeout. Tony Badger coming in, Fred. So who are they resting over there?
Well, Gary Thompson is fouled out. He committed the fifth foul right there.
The play was so close to me, I didn't see where the contact came from. Gary Thompson fouled out. 4 field goals, missed 1 free throw, 8 points. Elmore hits. 51-46. Willie Elmore, 3 for 3 at the line. He has 9 points. Elmore at the line to the right. Elmore hits again. That is the biggest lead of the ball game. 6 points. Earlier, biggest lead had been 5. Bradley in the front court. Over to the right side to Tony Badger. Trying to get it inside. Intercepted by Browning. Browning takes it back for Logan. Wildcats have the ball with 1:15. Webster dribbling around outside. They stab at it and foul. Foul on Bradley. David Bradley gets his 3rd foul. Now with 1:11 to go. We're going to have Webster at the line.
Jack, the last minute and 11 seconds of his high school coaching career, and Willie Akers still coaching as hard as he did at the first of the game.
Webster hits. 53-46, a 7-point lead. Webster rolls it over the rim and in. 54-46, 8-point lead. 1:09 to go. Bradley, top of the key. There it is. Bradley finds his spot. 54-48 with 1:01. Elmore will be the inbounder. Gets it into Hayner. Hayner's pass and a foul call. Hayner was double teamed and a trap. Foul charge to South Charleston. 54-48. I show Bradley with 4 out of 6 from the top of the circle. His other field goal came from half court. Greg Hayner at the line to the right. For Logan, he's 2 for 2. Hayner puts it up, and it is no good. Rebound. Save for Logan by Steve Browning. Knocked away. Browning glass touching. Went out of bounds, and the ruling, Logan touched it last. 54-48 South Charleston with the ball. Bradley over to the right side. Now back out to Bradley. He fires from 20 feet, angle right, and hits again. 54-50. South Charleston takes a timeout. So Bradley, that time slipping off to the right of the key at 20-foot range, hits another long ball. And a timeout in the ball game. 44 seconds to go with timeout on the floor of the score. Logan, 54, South Charleston, 50.
You're about a size 40? 40 long. This is a very smart-looking suit.
How do you identify quality menswear?
With a white shirt.
It's not difficult, really. When a suit feels this good, I know I'm on the right track.
That is very nice.
I can feel the quality of this fabric, and really good fabrics give a suit staying power.
Here, slip on the vest.
The style is something special. Nothing fatty or trendy, just the solid good looks of a Hart, Schaffner & Mark suit. And lots of personality.
With the muted top.
The kind of style I'm going to feel just as good about wearing next year as I do right
Notice
now.
The cut of this.
That's the look for the 80s. Clothing that performs so well, you know it's a smart investment.
Very tasteful look.
How do I know I'm getting the very best money can buy? Simple. I just look for the label that means quality in men's clothing. There it is. Hart, Schaffner & Marks.
That fits you beautifully.
Hart, Schaffner & Marks, now in the men's department of McCormick's in Logan.
Cliffs, Logan County Coal hopes you're enjoying this trip back in time to a special moment in Logan High School basketball. You know the game has changed a lot over the past 30 years, from the look of the uniforms, the three-point shot, and the different offenses and defenses teams execute. The same can be said for the mining industry, too. Over the past 30-plus years, there's been a stronger commitment to mine safety and environmental awareness and protection in mining coal these days. And no company takes those concerns more seriously and puts them into practice more diligently than Cliffs Logan County Coal. Safety for our miners and our environment are the priorities with Cliffs. As one of the area's most progressive companies and as one of the leading suppliers of metallurgical coal in the nation, Cliffs wants to be the blueprint for what responsible mining should be, can be, and will be in meeting the global energy demands and environmental concerns. So yes, not only has the game of basketball changed a lot over the past 30 years, but so has the focus of the mining industry. However, there's one thing that hasn't changed. Back when the game you're listening to was originally played, area coal companies were vital components of the community and committed both time and resources to youth sports leagues and other civic interests. Cliffs is proud to say they still believe in doing that kind of business the old-fashioned way. Cliffs Logan County Coal. They're proud to call this area home. Proud to be involved in what's good for our community. Now, let's go back to the game.
Logan puts it in play. All right, driving down the floor, Steve Browning is in the front court. They go after him, moves it outside to Elmore, 36 seconds. Elmore to Webster. Webster going to the basket, takes it all the way in, goes up for the shot, no good. He was fouled. Webster went all the way to the basket. And the foul is called on David Hall. That will be his fourth. Gary Webster will go to the line. 2 shots. Thus far, Webster has made 6 out of 9 at the line. He made the last 2 Logan points at the foul line. Webster at the line to the right. First shot, good. 55-50, 31 seconds to go. The biggest lead was 8 points at 54-46. Webster, second shot, off the rim. No good. Rebound taken by Gardner. Here they come. Bradley with the ball. They're going to play Bradley tight. Round to the right side. Now coming back out again to Gardner. Gardner down the lane, lays it up good. 55-52. 18 seconds to go. 3-point difference in the ballgame. Logan on top. Inbounds pass. Webster manages to save it, gets it to Hayner. Hayner, long one down to Gator. Gator, hook shot, no good. Well, that was a strange one Gator put up there, but he was fouled on the play. Apparently fouled either before or after the shot. The foul is called on Mark Miller, and it either came before or after they've signaled the 1-and-1. And among other stations on the network tonight, WPNW Mullins, WANJ Wheeling, WBTH Williamson, and of course our flagship station, WTNJ Beckley, Mount Hope, Oak Hill.
Jack, the last 2 times down the floor, I noticed the last time that the Logan Wildcats brought it down the floor, Willie was up screaming because Gary Webster took it to the basket. He said, I want it pushed outside. Run the clock. This time he was up screaming because I don't know what kind of shot that was that Ron Gator tried to throw up.
That was a strange one.
It was a strange one, and Willie did not like it. That's why he called the timeout. Only 11 seconds left. The last thing Willie needs to do is to shoot the basketball. And Willie knows that if he can just get the kids on the floor to realize it.
Well, it's 55-52. We have 11 seconds remaining, and Gator is going to be at the line on the 1-and-1. Now, Willie's telling them what to do if Gator hits one of those. But if Gator misses the first one, and South Charleston gets it, Willie's telling them, clear the way. Let them take it all the way down. Do not foul on the shot. Give them the 2 points, but do not give them the 3-point opportunity.
Has Gator been to the free throw line tonight?
This is his first trip. Gator at the line for the first time. 1-and-1. At the line to the right, Ron Gator. Puts it up with the right hand. It is no good. Rebound taken by Mark Miller to Bradley. Here comes Bradley driving. Bradley goes to the basket and lays it up good. Bradley pulls them to within 1. 3 seconds on the clock. 55-54. Elmore will inbound it.
Now, the final few seconds have been cut off on the tape when the person recording this had the cassette run out. So there's about 4 seconds left to go, and South Charleston has just scored. Willie, take us through the final 4 seconds.
Well, before the 4 seconds, we had the game. We were up by 3, and they had the ball, and we decided to let them score, and the ball game would be over because you don't. If once they score, the clock kept running,
and they were out of timeouts.
And they were out of timeouts, and you got 5 seconds to get the ball in. So that's what we did, and the boy from South Charleston kicked the ball and went in the stands.
Smart move.
Yeah. So they called time and put them at the thing. Well, that's illegal, and they later admitted it to me after a little argument. Not much because I didn't want to get a technical. But anyway, they admitted they were right. The boy kicked the ball intentionally, so that should have meant that the clock should have run out. And there was no way that you could stop that clock. But fortunately, we got it in bounds, and that was it. There was no
got
clock.
It in bounds to Willie Elmore, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And Willie made a couple of dribbles, and then the clock expired, and Logan had a 1-point victory. Steve, in a close game like that, and it just went back and forth. How much do you think, man, we're playing for a state championship? And how much of it is just you're focused on each possession?
Yeah, you don't. Once the game starts, you don't think of state championships or anything else. You know it's a big ball game, and you know it's for all the ball, but it's not going through your head. You're playing each possession to try to win that possession and try to maybe to forge a little bit of lead, which I think actually South Charleston might have had a 4 or 5 point lead going into the fourth quarter there. So, that's something that might have been the biggest lead of the game. I'm not sure. It wasn't a big spread at all. So you know that you can't lose focus and get behind by any more than 6-8 points, or else it's going to be your work's cut out to get back in the ball game.
1-point victory. Take us into the locker room after the game.
Oh, it's celebration and everybody just hugging and Coach Akers comes in and nobody's settled down. Everybody's jumping around and chairs are going crazy and you don't really see anything. Reporters are coming in. You don't have a whole lot of time really to do anything and. You sat down, they start talking to you. You didn't go to a separate room then. The reporters came into your locker room at that point. And so everybody's in there. And it takes a while to get changed. It's pandemonium, basically. And everybody's just celebrating, having as good a time as you could possibly have at that.
Willie, what was the mix between a big sigh of relief and the excitement that you wanted?
Well, you get it real excited right at the end. And then everything settles down and you just relax, and that's the key to it. And we always, in our kids, when we were in big tournaments, they did a great job all the time. And of course, we were a little bit different in Logan. They are in other school systems. We had a little money to spend, to eat and do certain things, and we always gave them their uniforms and warm-ups, and we'd buy new ones the next year. So that was a big part of it, and I think that was just the idea that all those people were waiting on them and so on.
Any post-game speech to your team that you can remember, like thank you for sending me out a winner or congratulations?
No, we just didn't. We just won the championship. We didn't care. We just were happy.
They toss you in the showers?
No.
No? You got tossed in the showers in '77. I was in the locker room.
Yeah. I didn't get very wet, though.
Okay. I'll tell that story real quick. We went into the locker room in '77 after Logan defeated Clarksburg, Washington Irving for the state championship. And Willie gives a little speech, congratulations. And the next thing you know, Mike Stone's on the floor of the locker room. He says, I twisted my ankle, and the excitement, it's swollen, it hurts really bad, Coach, look at it, take a look at it. And so Willie bent down to look at it, and about 4 guys grabbed him, hauled him off into the showers.
I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that. But I don't think they turned the water on very much.
Okay, that's fine. You had a nice suit on, so we didn't want to do that. All-tournament team that year, David Bradley, South Charleston, Maurice Bryson of Stonewall, Ron Gator of Logan, Bobby Gardner of South Charleston, Greg Hayner of Logan, David Hall of South Charleston, Ron Taflin of Weir, and Gary Webster of Logan. So the 83-84 season begins that November. How much did you miss it?
Well, you know what? I did miss it. I enjoyed it watching, though. And you know what? I made up my mind I wasn't going to go to the game and even think about what you should do or what you didn't do or how you played. I went and I watched the ball game. And people say, well, what's this? I said, hey, I don't know anything about it. I said, I did my thing, and it was totally different from anybody ever in the state. And I said, they don't have to do their thing. I said, we did what we had to do and how we did it. Mine was unparalleled with anything, I guess, that ever been done. I used to coach and walk over and talk to people, and they were running, and I may have turned my back on them, but they kept going. And of course, coaches nowadays use the clock, and you do 5 minutes of this and 5 minutes. If we weren't doing something right, we spent 20 minutes on it. If it wasn't right, we did 30 minutes on it. If it wasn't right, we still did it. Finally, we get to the point sometime it wasn't right, we just give up, start the next day on it. But that's the kind of, and that's the kids that I enjoyed, and they'd go drink water, at a timeout and shoot the bull with people there, or they'd be out shooting. We may take 15 minutes off, and they'd shoot jump shots, fouls, whatever they wanted to do. Then we start back to work. We had no girls' problems at that time. We didn't have the gym was ours. We'd be there 4 hours, or sometimes on Saturday we'd just maybe be there all day. And that's the way it worked.
Who was the bigger influence on you, Louis D'Antoni or Fred Schaus?
Well, that is probably, I could not say that. Both of them were. D'Antoni, of course, was really big on me in high school and grade school and everything when I watched him coach. Fred Schaus was really the pro and everything, and he was a big influence. Both of them, I used the same stuff both of them used, and that's the philosophy I used, and I was lucky. I had 2 fantastic coaches. Not only that, I had some junior high coaches that were just fantastic coaches. My grade school coach was a guy named Kurt Crotty, and unreal. Was a postman, and he coached us like we were in college. I mean, I was really fortunate, and of course, then I had John McClendon as a pro ABA one year that I got coached. I didn't get to play, but I got to sit on the bench, and I had to practice every day. But he was a fantastic coach. So I've been real lucky.
Steve, what's the one thing that you will take from and learn from playing for Willie Akers?
Well, it's hard to put it in one word, Speedy. You gather so much over your lifetime of people that influence you. But, I thought Coach Akers always wanted to do the right thing, whether it's the popular thing or it's not the popular thing. Make the right decision in what you're doing, if that's basketball or if that's in life. And that's something that I think I can, I try to get to my kid all the time. Do the right thing. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is, but do the right thing. It's going to come. And I think Coach Akers really tried to put that across to us.
All right, gentlemen, it has been our pleasure to go back in time to 1983 and relive the 83 state championship and Willie Akers' last state tournament as the head coach of the Logan Wildcats. This state tournament retro broadcast is made possible by Cliff's Logan County Coal. It's a great place to work and a great friend in our community. Today's remix has been produced and edited by Kid Conley with production assistance provided by Pat Hutchinson. Technical support supplied by Terry Buckley with help from Michael Robinette. For Willie Akers and Steve Browning, I'm Speedy Babbitt. We now return you